Oh my goodness. So listen, I really wanted to show this deck to you guys for a very long time. One of my clients sent me a picture of this deck and like two of the cards, and it was on Kickstarter, I think, at that time. But I have a tendency to not be patient enough with Kickstarter. So I usually just wait until the deck is done if that's possible. But in the meantime, I forgot about it. And then I saw it again. And I was like, oh my goodness. It just kind of blew me away. I was just like, wow. And it's so awesome that it came for Black History Month. Today is February 3rd. So I'm so happy it came in time for Black History Month. But this is a fantastic. I haven't even looked at it. Looked at it. It's called the Rhythm and Soul Tarot, and I've only seen a couple of the cards. Um, Here you go. If you want to read this right here, yeah, I've only seen a few of the cards, and I'm gonna show you the back in case you want to read that too. There we go. 80 cards in here. Oh wow, it's a big deck. Awesome. All right, so the jazz are the wands, blues are the cups, rock and roll is the swords, and country is the pentacles. It makes a lot of sense to me, these pairings, what they did the elements with, especially blues with cups, because I always think about the blues with crying. So I think that's really cool. Okay, so let me turn this over so you can see the top. Come on. Don't play with me, camera. There we go. So, of course, underneath this video, I'm going to put a link. This deck was given to me by Stacy. She is right here, the creator, and she gave it to me as a gift for the purposes of doing an honest review. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I do already know that I like a few of the cards, but that's all I know. I don't know anything else about the deck. So we're getting ready to have quite the adventure together. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anyone and everyone who might like it too. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you want to get a reading done, please hit me up. My information will be underneath this video. My email, my socials, my Patreon, in case you want to join us on Patreon. Patreon gets a lot of my videos early before everybody else, sometimes a long time before everybody else. I had a couple of them that was over a year. So if you're interested in our Patreon, that will be underneath here too. My birthday is coming up, so my PayPal and my Cash App is underneath this video in case you want to give a donation to the channel. And if you want to give me a gift, my Amazon wish list is updated and it is underneath this video. So let's get started. We got work to do. We got to see this. So first and foremost, it's a decent box. Oh my goodness. I love a good box. You open it out, you got some awesome quotes. Let's take out the book. Move the book to the side for a second. All right, and let's see what the book says. Okay, so we already know it's a pretty hefty book. This is a substantial book. Oh my. So we get the card in the upright and in reverse. Oh, we get a little song down there. Oh, that's really cool because then you can learn songs. Because I've noticed that people don't like they don't know older songs. I'm gonna just say it. A lot of people don't know older songs. So like you talk to somebody, you'll be like, "Yeah, do you remember that song from the '80s?" Especially young people, and they'd be like, "Huh, what?" So that's awesome because that's a way for people to learn older songs. Even me, I don't know songs that far back. I know them back to maybe about the '60s. So it would be cool to learn some other ones. That's decent. I'm gonna check out some of those. That's gonna be awesome. So we're gonna check out the cards, right? They come in plastic. I'm cutting the plastic off right now. We're gonna check these cards out one by one, and then when we're done checking out the cards, we're going to read one of the entries just to see how it flows. Okay? Before we get started, let me first grab one card. Let me show you the backs. These are the backs, which is cool. It's a vinyl record. Um, Perfect cardstock. Not too thick, not too thin. Nice size card. Easy for the hand. Like that a lot. Oh, peep this, guys. Gilded edges. Y'all know I love gilded edges. Some people say they hurt their finger, but they do not hurt mine. So I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe my hands are just tough. I don't know. That could be the case. All right, let's pull this right here. I want to show you guys each and every card in great detail. Oh my goodness. I just saw the magician and almost fell in love. Hold up. Let's look at the fool first. Oh. Now, before I get into it, I want to pull this down further if you don't mind. Because I really want you guys to see. That is good. Let's pull this forward. Let's tighten this up. Okay, let's move this over. There you go. So, look at that. I love the young girl's hair. I love the guitar. It's really the energy of the fool. And you know what I love about this immediately? It looks like to me this artist went rogue with this deck. I love a rogue deck. Let's see if I'm right. Because what I mean by a rogue deck is that they took the traditional symbolism of whatever the cards are, but they added in their own spin. And that's what I see. Look at this magician. First of all, the font is decent. He is gorgeous. The artwork is amazing. The only thing they could have did, I feel like up front, we don't need the border. Some people like borders, a lot of us don't. So I feel like if they wanted to make a change, that would be the only change I really see at this point. Is we really don't need the border. It doesn't take away from it. It doesn't ruin the card by any stretch of the imagination. But it's really not necessary. The artwork could have stretched all the way. I love her. I love her. Automatically, I'm seeing diversity of age and size and ethnicity. Love it. Look at her. Mima is the empress. Mama. Okay. Mama is the empress. And she's beautiful. I love her gray hair. See, you coming out the gate with diversity. That's what I'm talking about. You're not getting 15, 20 cards in before you see diversity. It's from the first card. It's immediately. I love it. I love how he's sitting on the porch because and he has his musical instrument by him. Because when I go down south, I have family in the south. I have family mostly. Well, I don't know the family that my grandfather came from. That would be South Carolina. I don't know any of them, unfortunately, because my grandfather never went back. When he moved from South Carolina to Philadelphia, he never went back, and none of us ever went down there, the kids or the grandkids, until they were older. My mom and her sisters went down and they met some of the family, but I didn't meet them. I love the preacher. I love that. That's an awesome card. So I don't know them, but I do have some family that I do know that's in Georgia. And whenever I went down, that's what they do. They sit outside, they talk, they laugh, they smoke, they drink, and listen to music. That's exactly what they do. They sit on the porch or they sit in the yard. I mean, we did the same thing in Philadelphia for real. But I'm pretty sure, pretty sure that it's because we saw our elders doing it in the South. Oh, wow. The one thing about there's two other decks that came out of this company. One was called what was it? Southern Gothic. I think one was called Southern Gothic, and there was another one too. And what I automatically love about these decks is the Southern influence. And like I said before, my family is from there. So whenever I look at these, I recognize so many things just from pictures, from family that they've shown me, or the couple times I've been down south. I just recognize so much. It's just such a rich heritage. And like I said, as far as Black History Month is concerned, I see a lot of symbols Even this lantern, I remember one of my uncles having a lantern like that. So it's like, wow. Here's our Wheel of Fortune. That is decent. A good old jukebox. I love a jukebox. As a matter of fact, when I was a high school teacher, I used to go to this bar for happy hour, and they had the best music on that jukebox, man. That is awesome. Oh, look at her. Beautiful. And see what I mean? Like, you have different colors, you have different ages, you have different sizes. See, this is diversity done right. I just don't understand it. It's so easy to do this. It's awesome. That's how I know when somebody doesn't do it. That's a very conscious decision. That's why I keep decks in my collection that have that diversity. Because it's a very conscious decision not to, and it's so easy too. This is cool. This is really cool. Makes me feel like the music has taken over the person. Oh, look at him in the graveyard doing magic at night. Of course, I wouldn't know anything at all about that. Awesome artwork. Very passionate. Look at this. Very passionate. The looks on their face. Um, just awesome. And the instruments too. I recognize all these instruments. I think that was a guitar and a banjo, if I'm not mistaken. So I definitely recognize all of the instruments as well. And a lot of people don't know, but people of African descent created a lot of the music that we listen to right now. R&B, hip hop, rock and roll, country music, the blues, jazz. I mean, a lot of these are these art forms, I will call them, and I think that's why they changed the court cards, because now that I'm looking at them, those are all genres that our people created or perfected or both. But the South is full of all kinds of people. There's white people, black people, Native Americans. I mean, it's all kinds of people in the South. And they all kind of like, especially back in the old days, not as much now, but in the old days, all these people kind of melted together and, created different things, different aspects of culture. But if I'm not mistaken, most of these are ours. And then of course other people take things, they use it creatively, they expand upon it. The other day, matter of fact, last night, Beyonce won album of the year for a country music a country music album, and I was like, wow. So that just goes to show that music is universal. Look at that. Yeah, this reminds me of the old days, 50s, 60s, Chubby Checker, Little Richard, that type of vibe. Very cool. Well, look at her. I like her modern dress. I like that a lot. She reminds me, she doesn't look like her in the face, but she reminds me, because it looks like she's holding drumsticks, and it reminds me of Sheila E. I was just looking at her on Facebook, and she's still going strong. Look at that rhythm. Reminds me of the swamp of New Orleans. All the frogs. Now look at this. Oh, man. It's very infrequently that I give a tarot deck a 10 out of 10. Like, very infrequently. And this is one of those times. This is one of those times. And look at the spirit behind her. Like, is that her higher self? Is that her ancestor? Is it her? Like, it looks like it's her. Oh, that's awesome. That's really awesome. I like those. Those are extra cards. So that means that there are two extra cards so far. That's cool. So now we're going to get into the suit of jazz. Here we are. Now remember, the suit of jazz, they told us, is the wands. So these are all going to be wand cards. Okay, so that's number one. Okay. Oh, another New Orleans. Looks just like New Orleans to me. That was a fun city. I liked it a lot. So I would say the only thing with this is, wait a minute, let me get this back in front. Oh, there you go. I would say the only thing with this is that you have to be remembering, you have to be conscious that the suits have changed, which for me is never a big deal. Once you can remember it, memorize it, I would say, and know what's what when you throw it, then that part is all good. Look at that. Let me pull it to me. What I love is how they have on fishnet stockings. That is so cool. Those little details, man, that is so awesome. Yeah, it's a lot of New Orleans. Yeah, I think this whole suit. New Orleans is known for jazz. When I was there, they were playing. I mean, literally in the street. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and people are playing a whole a whole jazz quartet and walking down the street. I mean, like on a Tuesday. This is what these people do, and it's awesome. Beautiful lady. Look at her. Beautiful. And it's awesome. So I'm like, yeah, this definitely represents that energy of New Orleans. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure other, cities, I bet you if I read this guidebook, which I think I recommend, not even I think, I do recommend reading the guidebook. Because remember, we always talk about how you don't have to read the guidebook, and you really don't. But sometimes I think it's a good idea. A lot of times I think it's a good idea. If it's just a little small guidebook and there's not any real information in it and you don't need it, that's fine. But a deck like this, I think it would be very well worth it because you're going to learn those historical facts that I'm stumbling through. you know, you're going to learn that kind of stuff, I'm sure, at least bits and pieces of it if they have, tied it together the way that they have. Look at the page. Oh man. He looks so cool with his hat. His little grown self. I love him. And check out her. Excuse me. I love it. I love her hair and her outfit. Like, wow. Yes. Okay, this is the beautiful woman who's on the box. She reminds me of Billie Holiday. I wonder if that's Lady Day. It might be. I could see her. I don't know if she was called the Queen of Jazz, but back then they had all kinds of names: Queen of Jazz, Empress of Soul. It was very common, so I could see her being that archetype. I'm gonna check it out when we're done. Beautiful. Oh, look at him, his cute self. I have no idea who he is, but he is handsome, and I love him with that trumpet. Yes. Oh man, this is a nice deck. Yeah, my blues is the cups. Oh, you know something? I just realized. See that right there? The blues. So you do have to kind of remember, but you really kind of don't. That's kind of easy to remember, by looking at the bottom that this is blues, this is the cups. And there's a lot of water here, so I don't think I would have a hard time remembering this. This is moonshine. I know moonshine when I see moonshine, and that's moonshine. So I'm guessing this might be the bottle it came out of, and then they poured it into the mason jars. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Drink it out of a mason jar. Uh huh. My family did that all the time. Oh, man. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, goodness. Let me see. They call it moonshine. Some people call it corn liquor. But that's what it is. It's basically homemade liquor. Oh, look at them in the water once again. So, yeah, it's going to be easy for me to remember that this suit is water in the background. Oh, goodness. Is she being baptized? Or are they just dancing? Look like they just rejoicing in the water to me. Homeboy looks like he's dealing with something. Maybe some regret. Poor thing. Five of. Oh no, you dropped the moonshine. Oh no. Oh no. Don't spill the booze. What's wrong with you? I love her jacket and her outfit. the the trench coat and the shoes. I love how her hair is done too. It's interesting to me because some of these look very, very old fashioned, and some of them look a little bit like they could be modern. Like this right here, I've seen somebody in this outfit in probably every time period. It's a very classic outfit. But the little girl with the little shoes on, very common during my time. But I think little girls still wear those now. So it's interesting because you can see this as being the past, the present, and the future. And they're in church too. The black church, man, the black church is a huge part of life in the South. I don't know about now, but it was before. It was a huge part, especially for people of color and other peoples too. I think a lot of people had a lot of like southern, like revivals they would call them, or just being at church. And in the South, church used to be an event. We were in church all day. When I say all day, I mean all day. It was an event. Love that. And those jars, all my elders had those jars. Everything went in those jars. You will see them everywhere. The Ada cups. I love how they have the plants in the coffee cans. That is so awesome. I believe strongly in recycling, and people who don't have a lot of money made up a lot of very clever ways to do that, and that is one of them. Jars, cans, stuff like that. You know how everybody's grandma has a can, like a tin, and it's supposed to be cookies in it, and it never is. There's never cookies in that tin, and them cookies not good no way. So I'm glad they're not in there. This reminds me of grandma's house. That is really awesome. One thing I like about this is the nostalgia. This really hits me in the feels with nostalgia. It hits me in the feels with the past really strong. That's beautiful. Man, this is such a beautiful gift. I am so grateful to the creator for sending over this beautiful deck. Look at that. So that's our Knight of Cups. Very passionate. Oh, look at mommy. See, this is me. This is me. In the bar with my jelly jar. With my jelly jar full of hooch. Ashe. Beautiful. Here's him. Very smart looking gentleman. Yeah, this all the men in the suits remind me of the past, because this is how men dressed when I was a girl. They had on hats. They were sharp when I was a girl. Men did not go outside. The axes? I didn't remember the axes. Which one is axes? Maybe this is rock and roll. Axes, but okay. This is rock and roll. And the next one will be country. Okay, cool. So here's our rock and roll. Let's look at our rock and roll suit. They got the rock and roll guitar. Okay, and these axes, rock and roll is swords. Yes, this is swords. Okay, got it. All right. Okay. I like this. Is this James Dean? That looks like James Dean to me. That's cool. I love this on his jacket. Phew, look at her. Look like she had a rough night. My goodness. Trying to relax. Okay. Maybe she's trying to recuperate. That's what that looks like. The 5. Uh-oh. Looks like there was some unrest here. Maybe they stealing somebody's car? Like, what the? It would go with the 5 though. The 5 of swords. Somebody walking away. Oh, the 6 of swords. Look at that on a motorcycle. I love the backgrounds too. You see the trees and the sky. Great backgrounds. Okay. Okay. Check her out. This is interesting to me because I love watching live performances. Eight of Swords. Interesting how instead of swords surrounding her, there's microphones. Interesting. Very interesting. Very smart choice. Our nine. Oh, this person can't sleep, poor thing. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, did they break the guitar? Oh no. Whoo, that's not good. That's not good at all. Oh no. Look at our page. Okay, page. I like these a lot. I think you guys already know this. I really love this deck. This is beautiful. It's going to be a lot of fun to use this. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I wish I had the Southern Gothic Oracle because of course, it's going to pair nicely. You know, they're done by the same company, so I'm sure it's going to the same creator. So I'm very sure it's going to pair nicely. I'm going to take a look and see if it's still on the market. Beautiful. So don't forget, when you finish looking at this video, go underneath this video and I'm going to have a link to where you can get this. Look at that. I don't know this instrument. I've never seen it before. If I have seen it, I don't recognize it. That's really cool. Okay. Our two pentacles. Okay, very smart. They made a lot of very smart, creative decisions with this deck. The Three of Pentacles, right? Cooperation, working together. I like that. Yeah, they made a lot of really fun decisions with this. A lot of recognizable. Look at that thing. I've heard people play this before. I've seen that before on television. But yeah, they made a lot of smart decisions. There's a lot of symbolism here. Look at this. I've seen this before 1,000 times. There's a lot of smart symbolism here. Pennies, of course. I love it. I love it. I don't have any complaints about it. And I don't have any changes. The only change I would say is, remember I said they could have done without the borders. Now that's just a personal preference thing. That's not really something that needs to change. It's just if they wanted to do that, that would be awesome. If not, this is beautiful. You know, they're not over imposing borders. So it's not something that would bother me. It's not something that would keep me from using the deck. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use this deck tomorrow. When I got my first client, I'm going to cleanse this deck and use it. Look at her. I love the lights. Is she an actress? She must be a singer. She has a guitar. Got it. This is pretty too. Look at that. Look at the castle in the background. Love that. 10 Pentacles. You have land. You have a castle. You have money. Pentacles, baby. Page of Roots. Beautiful. See, that's the only one thing that I'm noticing about this is that the suits on the back of the box are not the same as the suits that are in the actual deck. We've seen jazz, we've seen blues, but then we got into rock and roll and country. So at some point, this must have been changed because now the suits have different names. The one we looked at before was Axes, and this one here, the country one, the Pentacles, is Roots. Instead of, check that out. Instead of what I thought it was going to be country, is Roots. So, not a big deal, but just notice the change. I love how he's playing with his shoes off. Everything, when I'm being creative, I like my shoes off. Look at her. Look at that beautiful green dress. The clothing choices were awesome. They made a lot of beautiful clothing choices. Between the backgrounds and the clothing choices, these are just awesome. All right, so now we're going to find the lady in a pretty yellow dress. There she is right here. So let's take him. Let's take her. And then we're going to take a look and see if this is Lady Day. That was my only real question, because that looks like her to me. And I greatly admire her work. So I just want to see if that's her. So we're going to go directly to Jazz. We found our Queen of Jazz. All right, so it was easy to find her. The Queen of Jazz song is Brown Gal by Little Hardin Armstrong. So I will check that out. Now we're going to see if this is Lady Day, because I don't think so. I think that's Little Harwin Armstrong's wife. That's what this sounds like. So the first thing we're going to see when we open this up, let me show this to you really quick. See? There's a lot to read here. A lot. And it comes up in the upright and the reverse. So I don't think that's Lady Day. Let me see. Now, all the gals on Park Avenue have a highbrow song to sing. But I'll stay here on Lenox Avenue where I was born to swing. Now, some folks got plenty money. Some folks got philosophy. But I've got good old swing, and it's good enough for me. Okay. So with a song on my lips and rhythm in my hips, I can't go wrong having my fling, because I was born to sing. Little Harden Armstrong. In tarot, the queens are the mothers of the deck, and they represent some aspect of feminine leadership. As counters to the king cards, they show us a form of leadership that is empathetic, supportive, and receptive. Both the queens and kings represent mature people who are masters of their ability. The Queen of Jazz is self-assured, energetic, and creative. She is absolutely brimming with talent and enthusiasm, making a powerful first impression everywhere she goes. The quality of her work speaks for itself, and the legacy of her abilities only serves to bolster her appeal. The muse for the Queen of Jazz is Little Harden Armstrong, who was once the wife of Louis Armstrong, the jazz superstar. Some say Little Harden was the genius behind Louis's success because it was she who had a formal music education. Ah, okay. In addition to arranging his music, she helped him refine his fashion choices and stage persona. That makes sense. Imagined here in a buttery, soft yellow silk gown, the queen is seated dreamily at the piano keys, gazing into the sky as if lost in creative thought. Her beauty and grace is dazzling. We cannot wait for her to play. Reversed. The Queen of Jazz is in reverse could indicate that the usual charisma and charm of the queen are not holding sway. You will have to rely on something more than just a cute attitude to get what you want this time. Your powers of persuasion are in an all-time low. Oh, that's not good. So if you want to hear the song by the person that was the muse for this card, it's called Brown Gal by Little Harden Armstrong. And if you want to know how to spell it, I'm going to show it to you right there. Brown Gal. So this is phenomenal. The guidebook is amazing. I love the explanations, and I love how it explained who the muse was. I'm very glad it did that, because I swear I would have thought that was Lady Day. And I don't know Little Harden Armstrong, so I'm very interested to learn more about her. And now that they said that, I can Google the song, I can read more about her story, and that's really cool. So I recommend this deck 100%. It's a 10 out of 10. And if you love it too, check out the link underneath this video and get it. I highly recommend it. It's even better than I thought. I'm sitting here blown away. It's even better than I imagined. Just from looking at the two cards, I knew it was good, but it's actually phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So, yeah, if it's a collector's item, it's a great gift to give to somebody. So you guys come back soon, because I got a lot more to say. See you later.